want a hamburger. No, a cheeseburger. I want a hot dog. I want a milkshake. I want potato
You'll
chips.
get nothing and like it.
Welcome back, my friends. I am Brian, and you are Chords and Notes Nation. Thank you so much for joining me once again, wherever you are, whenever you are. It is always a pleasure to listen to Miss Gigi De Lana and watch what she's been doing with her covers recently. Today is the song Remember Me This Way. It's a cover, a Jordan Hill cover. I don't know this song. And this was released today, just a few hours ago, as a matter of fact. So as it happens to stand, I was able to be done with work in time to be able to come home and listen to this. Guys, what I'm thinking here, well, I'll tell you what I think about everything at the end of this, after this video. But as I've been going through her recent covers that she's been releasing, I've started to see a pattern. I know she's singing with a purpose here. She's choosing songs purposefully. And I'm not one of those fans that's like, I got to know everything that's going on with this artist. I know everything, this interview, that interview, this, what she said over here, what she said over there. It's different for me. And I'll talk about that afterwards. But I'm getting a sense that this is the closure of a chapter here with this song. I have a feeling. But we're going to listen to it. I'm going to listen to how she sings it. I'll let you know what I think. And then I'll expand on my thoughts. So, here we go. White for purity, like a rebirth.
Every now and then we find a special friend who never lets us down.
It's true.
Who understands it all, reaches out each time you fall. You're the best friend that I found. I know you can't stay. A part of you will never ever go away. Your heart will stay. I'll make a wish for you and hope it will come true. If life will just be kind to such a gentle mind, and if you lose your way, think back on yesterday. Remember me this way. Remember me this way. I don't need eyes to see the love you bring to me, no matter where I go. And I know that you'll be there forevermore, a part of me. You're everywhere. Always care. I'll make a wish for you and hope it will come true. That life will just be kind to such a gentle mind. And if you lose your way, think back
So I don't know how I want to do this. I have a couple of things I want to say. Number one, to the audience in general, but number two, specifically to Miss De Lana. So to the audience, and I read pretty much all of your comments. If your comments haven't popped up, it's because there's a filter, and I check on a semi-regular basis which comments were held, which ones weren't. Algorithm thing. So I try to get to all of them. And Gigi's audience, Gigi's fan base is quite enamored with her for good reason. Full display of vocal control and talent right here. But the much larger body of work just strengthens this bond between fan base and artist. And music being subjective, each of us can connect with the music, the message, the artist in certain ways, and others in other ways, if that makes sense. I know it's kind of vague, but we all come to the same conclusion, don't we? When it comes to being fans of Miss De Lana. We know there is something special here. We know it. Those of you who have had the opportunity to attend one of her performances, private or public, whatever, good for you. I hope to myself one day as well. I believe I will. You gotta believe. This song, this choice, this performance was so heartfelt. And it specifically tells me she's speaking to someone. She could be speaking to someone in particular, but also to a part of herself as well. So there could be multiple meanings here, or multiple points of focus, but the message is the same. And I really think she's saying goodbye to a chapter in her life. I think she's, like I said, she's wearing white. That's not by accident. There's a purity here. There's a rebirth. There's a sense of newness. And when you go through traumatic events in your life, especially if it's interpersonal, and it rocks you to your core, it's a very difficult landscape to navigate through, to process through. And some of us, it takes longer than others to get through it. The scars are never gone. They might heal, but they're never gone. So I always get a kick out of people who say, well, don't judge me with your past. Don't, quit bringing your past into it and blah, 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 blah. We all do it, right? The past serves as a teacher. If you don't learn your lesson from the past, you're going to make the same mistake moving forwards. But at the same time, you have to have some healthy self-examination. And you have to come to an agreement with yourself that no matter what, number one, It takes two to tango. We all contribute. You both, I should say, contribute to the success or decline of the relationship, whatever it is. So to fully blame someone else, I mean, there's always exceptions, but the general rule, to just blame someone else is not a healthy thing. And a healthy mind is going to examine their own role in things. How could I have done things better? Should I have done things better? But you don't want to get caught up on the coulda, shoulda, woulda, because then you start to regret and you try and go backwards and try and fix those problems when that ship has already sailed. So the best thing for you to do is to settle that in your mind that, listen, I'm human. I am going to make mistakes based on the circumstances, based on where I'm at mentally in my life, age-wise, all of this stuff. There's always going to be mistakes made. And I've been a teacher, and I am a teacher. And one of the things that I've told my students, I've told my children growing up, is you can't run away from mistakes and failures and stop looking at them in a negative light. Mistakes and failures are there as tools to strengthen you. If your mindset is right, if you brood over them and treat them like a dead pet, it's not going to be used the way it needs to be used. In order to be successful in life, whether that success is moving on from something or gaining something or, whatever the case may be, you have to fail multiple times before you become successful. So you are going to fail more times in life than you are going to succeed. But that one success, whatever path you're following to find that success, whether it be music, whether it be relationship, whether it be, work, whatever the case may be, that one success should be so great that it nullifies the negative impact of the failures, but doesn't erase the lesson. Does that make sense? Now, that's my message for you guys, and that sort of overlaps for Miss De Lana. And I don't mind putting this out here, because what she's done is she's exposed a part of herself without exposing herself to the world. If you have wisdom and discernment to follow what she's been doing here, you'll see that this is the catharsis she is expressing herself with. She's done all the behind-the-scenes healing. Now she's just finalizing this for herself. There's a message here. Remember me. Okay, this way. Whatever happened, what I see here in this performance, in this message, because you, Gigi, took ownership of this song. It's almost as if these words, you sang them as if you wrote them. Whatever happened, you're willing to overlook the negative and remember the positive, but understanding that it's done, that chapter is done, but that final message, I'll always be here supporting you, and you have a gentle mind, and all of the positive things that were sung in this. That's a beautiful spirit. That's somebody who has healthily achieved something brilliant that we should all learn to do. Coming to a peaceful moment where it all makes sense. When you're able to look at that other person who may have caused you a lot of pain and resolve it in your mind that you're going to remember them in a positive light, and you're asking them to do the same. That is a highly mature, a highly developed response to one of the deepest pains a person can know. And I have to say, Gigi, what you did was brilliant. Hats off to you. If I was wearing my hat, I'd take it off. Hats off to you for expressing yourself this way. This is probably one of the most artistic musicians that I've listened to, encountered on this Chords and Notes Nation journey. I've listened to a lot of artists. I love certain types of music, especially when there's concept albums, story albums. This is sort of like a story album, these series of songs, starting with ULAP and then all these covers that you've been putting out lately. So this message, what I'm about to say, is specifically for Gigi, but obviously the audience, you take this as you will, because we all go through times in life. But Gigi, if you've turned that corner, if that page has been turned, if a new chapter has started, it's going to be brighter and more beautiful, just like you, than your last chapter. It has to be. Because the seeds of growth within you are already starting to sprout. And the light that the Lord has given you and the water that His Spirit is feeding you is creating in you something tremendous. If the Lord is the author and finisher of our faith, I've gone through this myself with the things I've had to deal with. And I've looked at it this way. Jesus is the author and finisher of our faith. God created us with free will. He respects that free will to a degree. It's limited. But He will always, because of His tremendous love for us, will always use those situations in our lives to help continue to guide us on the path that He wants us on. And so when we look back at these seminal moments, these pivotal moments, these traumatic moments in life, and it seems from our perspective so damaging and so life-changing, and it is, but when you look at it from the 40,000-foot view and you've got time to reflect, you start to realize and you start to see this thread of love and grace going through each and every one of these moments that brings us into the development of ourselves, of our soul, of our spirit, and hopefully closer to Him. So my final message on this song for you, Gigi. No matter what direction that goes in, you have an amazing future ahead of you. You deserve it. Absolutely. God bless you guys. Jesus loves you. I love you. I'll talk to you in the next video.